What up people, this is Weem coming to you from the editing suite. Not really. I had quite a few questions recently about my helmet setup, so I thought it's easier just to do a quick video, and this is basically everything that I have. So if we start off at the basics, I used to use this, which is the waterproof case, which has been drilled on the side. Inside here I've got a polarizing filter. I also have a second case which doesn't have this, and the reason for that is that to get this filter out I have to undo each screw, take this off, take the filter out and then put the screws all back in again, and it's just too much of an arse ache that I decided just to get another case for that. This one used to be top mounted. I don't top mount anymore, I only mount on the chin, so I use the frame mount for that. This is my Hero 3 with a sticker over it. I got it from the Decal Girl website. They're pretty cheap, they're only a couple of bucks. I left the stickers on here as well so that it wouldn't show the flashing light, just to make it a bit more stealth like. And then when it's in the case, I'll show you later, it's completely sealed, so that's all you see anyway. Next we have the Hero 2, and this is my backup camera. This is the one I used to use before I got the Hero 3, and this was really handy. I took this with me to the Isle of Man, and when my old Hero 3 crapped up, I still got my last vlog out on this. I virtually never use it, but it's there if I want it as a backup, or if I want to do a different angle. So that's the cameras. For audio, I used to have the original GoPro audio adapter, and after about a year of use, it must have been where I kept knocking the cable, it just had a bad connection and it was useless. And for 20 quid, it's just too much money. And I think it was a Rider's Life had put up that he'd been using these. It's basically a cheap adapter that comes from China. This has worked perfectly, and because it's L-shaped, it means that it doesn't stick out from the camera as much anymore. The only downside is that to get it to fit the frame, I've had to trim this back a little bit, but just it's easy to do, and then it fits perfectly. Next, for the audio, I've got a short 3.5mm connector for the microphone, and here there's a volume control, so these are actually designed for headphones, so you can turn the volume up and down to your headphones without having to go into your pocket. And what I've done with this is I've taken it, measured it as 1 to 5 rolls of the wheel to take the volume up, and I've had to take it down 1 because the audio on the GoPro is so sensitive that it blows out quite often. So by turning this down 1, it's enough for the condenser mic to give it good audio but without overloading the processing within the GoPro itself. And it's a short cable and it's just easy and neat. Next is the mic. I use this monstrosity. I use this, it's an Olympus ME51S condenser mic. It's very good. The first time I ever used it was when I did the lap of the Isle of Man for the first time. And it didn't have any protection on it. And this is my secret weapon, my little dead mouse, which is a wind cut windshield. So the mic fits inside of this. It kills almost all the wind noise. But that is basically my mic setup. I've got a 64 gig card just because it's useful to have a bit of space. In case you forget to delete something off your previous recording, then at least you've got the room. I mount it with a J-mount to the helmet on the chin bar. I'll show you that in a little bit. My other thing is where I've got the Polar Pro on here. I've got the Polar Pro lens protector, which fits onto the GoPro like that. And that protects the lens from any dirt or wet weather that might come flying at the lens. And also because it's a polarizer, the sky is more blue, the clouds are more white. This does what a normal polarizer does. So that's the basic camera gear. I used to use this on the chin mount because it used to have a little bit of wobble, but it's such a small amount and your head's moving all the time anyway that it doesn't really make a difference, so it's kind of pointless. This is a little baggie that came with this Polar Pro, and it's very useful because I keep a little cloth so I can give it a wipe if I need to. But also, if I'm riding and it starts to rain, this whole unit will fit inside this bag, and then it can go in my pocket. Other stuff I carry with me, I have 2 batteries, that's all I ever use. I pretty much always use just the one. The second one I have just as a backup. The way I do my recording with the GoPro is I've got it set to 1 touch record, which means that as I'm riding along, half a second press and it'll power the camera on, and then it'll immediately start recording. And then I can do what I want to do if I'm talking about something, and then I might come up to a bit of motorway and there's no point recording 15 minutes of motorway riding. So hold it for 5 seconds, it powers it off. So when I do it this way, I get about an hour and 10 minutes, 16 gigabytes of 1080 at 30 frames a second. If you were to just switch it on and leave it, I get about an hour and a half. But the advantage is that by doing it that way, you only record what you actually want, and you actually get a lot more content than by just switching it on and leaving it on. Unless you're one of these people that can just naturally talk, not have awkward silences. But yeah, but I do have a backup battery, and that's just in case I need to have a little bit more juice. This will give me about another hour or so. And with the Wasabi Power, I also got this wall charger. It's got a small DC in port, and I've got a USB charger and the bike, which I can plug into this. So if I want to, as I'm riding along, I can plug that in if I need it. And the other stuff that I carry is this stuff here. This is basically an extension cord, so that if I do actually want to hook it up onto the top of the helmet again, I've got an extension cable so that it will run the full length of the helmet. I've got a backup mic just in case. This is a small, I can't remember what this is, small stereo mic, don't know what it is, but that's my backup. And this, which is my Sony voice recorder type thing, and I keep that in case, for some reason, and it has happened once or twice, I forgot my adapter and I need to record something. I can just plug that straight into here. It records amazingly well. The GoPro is very good at filtering out booming audio. This picks up everything, so it's harder to clean up the audio from this, I found. Yeah, so I'll show you how it looks in the helmet now. It looked like a lot of stuff before, but this is really all it is now. But here, I've got the chin mount here, and what I did is, with the original RFA helmet, it has a clip on the chin, and that's for to let the wind in and out. If you pop that off, that is completely flat underneath. The mount protruded a little bit too high and it wasn't touching anything, so I basically hacksawed it off, which left this vent open so I could still get some air coming into the helmet if I wanted to. The way I mount it inside the helmet, take a rubber band. So what I do is I get my audio connector, stick it through a rubber band, take the GoPro, push it in, disconnect up with the adapter, but that connects here, and what that does with the rubber band, it holds it in place, stops it flapping about, gives it enough room that I can go forward and put in a battery if I want to. When I'm riding, if I have it completely back, that means I won't get the clocks. If I want to get a bit more road in, I just roll it forward a little bit. Or when I'm in a sit-up and big bike, like I was on the GS500, I bring it more forward because I'm in a more upright position. The way I mount the mic inside, like everybody, kind of stick it in the cheek pad. When I talk on the phone, I always have the phone to my right ear, so I put the mic on the right hand side because that's naturally where I talk, if you know what I mean. I naturally talk to my right hand side. When I put it in, there we go. So that's loose, and then I connect up my mic. So when it's in place, it sits just in here on the right hand side. I can feel it a little bit against the side of my cheek, but I just push it back and I almost can't feel it at all. Then with the chin guard back in place, I run the cable on the right hand side, which then connects to the adapter here. So it's nice and neat. So when I'm riding, that's basically my setup. Very clean and simple. It doesn't flap around, this doesn't flap around. And I can move it forward if I want to. The cable doesn't snag. Inside here there's two vents, and I've taped off this side as well, just so that there's no extra wind coming in here than there needs to be. It does the job. But that's it. That is the Weem's camera setup. This is something that I've evolved over quite a long time, so if it's something that's useful, then I hope it saves you some time or gives you some ideas yourself to try out. If you've got any questions, then just give us a shout in the comments below. So there, very subtle, very simple, very clean and tidy.